Welcome back, guys. It is now time for me to answer your questions that you guys have sent via text. So I'm going to scroll down all the way down to the bottom, all the way. By the way, this is part 4. Hello. Oh, there's my wallpaper. Part 4 of On the Spot. Let's have a look at your questions. First question comes to us from Abdias, Abdias 95. Will you have a fan mail segment? If you so, receive fan mail. At one point, I had done a P.O. box. It's something I'm hoping to start up again. I just haven't had a chance to get it together, and Spot may potentially be moving in the next little while, so I'm going to probably arrange all that after I get myself re-situated. When I do, though, definitely I'm going to get a P.O. box set up, so if you guys want to send me mail or something you want to see reviewed or anything like that, by all means, you can send me a picture. I always like pictures and stuff like that. I still have fan mail that you guys have sent before, so I still have held on to that. So that is important to me. I don't lose sight at all at the fact of what you guys do to watch these videos and the fact that you guys enjoy watching stuff. So that never gets lost on me. So I mean, absolutely. I will do a fan mail segment when I get myself a P.O. box set up and all that goodness going on. Next question comes to us from Biohazard Jackson 63. How's that for a name? Kind of looks like he's got an Ultimate Warrior face going on there for his logo. OTS, what is your favorite zombie game, movie, or snack? Snack might be a little hard. I think I tried the zombie jerky. I didn't like that. It was just like seaweed. I think I've tried a bunch of different zombie stuff, haven't I? I think zombie mints. Was it zombie mints? Those were gross. I still got to upload the video so stay tuned for that. Favorite zombie game? I'm gonna go with Resident Evil. I'm gonna say Resident Evil 2. Although I never finished all of Resident Evil 2, I just never got around to it. I finished Resident Evil 1 and 3. Another favorite zombie game I really like is Plants vs. Zombies. I don't know, that's probably insignificant. I also like Burn Zombie Burn. Does anybody have that? Burn Zombie Burn? I love that, where you walk around and I think I got a little tired of it after a while because the levels are just getting too long, and you just walk around with a torch and you light everything on fire and then you go back and shoot the zombies. It's an awesome game. Burn Zombie Burn. And favorite zombie movie? I don't really like a lot of zombie movies. I'm not a big zombie fan. I don't know why I had to quote that, but I'm not a big zombie fan. I guess of the movies that I have seen of zombies, my favorite is probably the original Dawn of the Dead. And I'm not saying that to jump on any bandwagon and hold on for dear life, but I do really like Dawn of the Dead because I liked that it's one of the few movies that I can think of where they spend a lot of time establishing characters. I mean, you really feel as if you've lived in this mall with these people as they've put up, the fake wall, and they've lived in there, and they get their groceries, and they get all the food, and they have their furnishings and everything else. You really get that feeling like they've lived there, and I like that quite a bit. Day of the Dead wasn't as bad, or wasn't as good, I should say. It was still watchable, though. I'm going to sound like an absolute... I'm going to probably have to hand in my zombie card. I don't mind, actually, the Resident Evil movies. Not all of them were great, but at least they're watchable. But I think my favorite is probably Dawn of the Dead. The original Dawn of the Dead. The Dawn of the Dead remake wasn't bad, but I think the original Dawn of the Dead is my favorite. Next question comes to us from Don's Bombs. Don's Bombs asks, Spot, who are some of your favorite Autobots and Decepticons from Transformers? Favorite Autobots, I'm going to say Springer. I really like Springer. I'm going to say Optimus Prime, but I don't want to sound like I'm just... Oh, Spot, you just like Optimus Prime. Who's your favorite Thundercat? What, Lion-O? Actually, I do like Lion-O. I'm going to say Optimus Prime. I'm going to say Springer. Springer is probably one of my favorites. Springer. And, I've always liked Prowl. I've always really dug Prowl. And Hound. So I'm going to say Springer's my favorite Autobot. followed probably by Optimus Prime, Prowl, Hound. Favorite Decepticons? My favorite is Soundwave. I love Soundwave. I got to get myself Masterpiece Soundwave if I can just. Got to get him one day. I like Galvatron. I really like the look of Generation 1 Galvatron. Not the toy, but the cartoon Galvatron. He just looked cool. I really like the movie series characters, like the Generation 1 movie. The sweeps look cool. Cyclonus. But I think my favorites are, I'm going to say, Soundwave, then Galvatron, then Starscream. Then maybe Shockwave. There's 4 and 4. Hopefully that answers your question. Next question comes to us from DBZ, JT2844. I guess that's Dragon Ball Z GT 2844. OTS High Spot, you're awesome. We know you play PlayStation, but what was your favorite types of games? I like some puzzle games, but I'm mostly a big fan of third-person games like God of War. I'm looking over at my collection here. I love wrestling games. I don't know if everybody knows that yet, but I really like wrestling games. I also really like fighting games. Like I like the Marvel vs. Capcom, the Mortal Kombat. I love. I think Injustice is a fun game too. Even though Joker on medium to hard level, totally, kicks my butt all the time. I guess that's really it. My favorite is God of War on PlayStation, and I'm actually really glad that they're bringing back games like they're bringing back DuckTales. I have the Simpsons arcade and the X-Men arcade. It's always nice to go back and play those, just because they're so retro. Reminds me when I was a kid again. Next question comes to us from the JG review guy. OTS, hey Spot, have you gotten a chance to play the new BioShock yet? And if you have, what do you think of it? Also, have you played the previous 2 games in the series? Love your vids. Love your vids, man. Keep up the rocking good work. Well, thank you very much, sir. I have not played BioShock at all. I actually shouldn't say that. I played the demo a little bit, but some horrible truth that you have to know about me is I don't like first-person shooters. First-person shooters, I get the wheezy, my stomach's, I get the sweats, I get very sick watching first-person shooters. So I'm not probably the best person to give advice on that. So I'm gonna say I haven't played them, but I like the premise from what I've seen, and they kind of look cool looking. I might get the toys at some point, but I understand if I review some of these things, I'm not gonna know anything. Like when I mentioned in Arkham, was it the Arkham City Bruce Wayne, the infected Bruce Wayne? And I mentioned I didn't even know what the weapon was that he was holding, and everybody said, "Oh, Spot, it's this, it's this." I didn't play the game, so I didn't know the weapon. Next question comes from Big Mike TV 100 on the spot. 2-part question. 1, what do you want to see in Jurassic Park 4? And 2, how many action figures do you have in your collection? Part 2 of that question, I probably won't be easy to answer. I have a fair bit. A lot of it, like I said, is not on display. It sits in totes. A lot of stuff I eventually want to get out on display. I just have not. I don't have the space to accommodate them. I don't know. I honestly don't know how many figures I have. I wish I. It's never something where I actually take the time and count. I just don't know. I'm so sorry. I really am. But his first question says, "What do you want to see in Jurassic Park 4?" I don't really know. I liked Jurassic Park 1. Lost World wasn't too bad. Jurassic Park 3 I didn't like. And I find the problem with the Jurassic Park movies is the same problem that most movies suffer from, is they have to put a kid in it. And as soon as you put a kid in it, the movie tends to suck. Not necessarily the movie does badly, but didn't like the kid in the third one. Didn't like the girl in the second one. The kid in the first one wasn't too bad. The 2 kids, they seem to kind of offset their suckiness by having two of them together. It wasn't as bad. So Jurassic Park 4, I'm going to say I'd almost like to have kids out of it. And I know you have to put a kid in it because then the kids can relate. And you can sell the toys to the kids. And you got to put toys and the kids' toys and the kids in the show. So I'm going to say I really don't want to see a kid in it. 2, I'm not really sure what else you can cover that hasn't already been covered in a Jurassic Park movie. One of two things will happen. Either you'll make a Jurassic Park 4 that people will watch and they'll think to themselves, we've already done this. We've already seen dinosaurs running across the woods or the grass. Do we have to see it again? Or they'll say to themselves, wow, why did they have to make the movie so unique? Because original designs, I don't know if it was designs from Jurassic Park 3 or the Jurassic Park 4 conceptual designs, but they had kind of like a dinosaur-human hybrid, kind of like a dinosaur that had human traits to it. And you know what? As interesting as an idea as that might be, you really won't be able to market that very well to a kid, and it might be a little too scary. But as a sci-fi movie, that would be kind of neat. Yeah, it's just, I'd like to see Sam Neill come back. And I'd like to see Malcolm McDowell. I'd like to see, I'm thinking of his actor's name, Jeff Goldblum. I'd like to see him come back. I'd like to see some of the original cast come back and give them a reason to be back. Maybe the park is opened up again, or maybe it's a new park. See, they got to come up with something original enough where people aren't going to feel like, oh God, is this the best excuse they could give for Jurassic Park? I think the CG will definitely be a lot better. Not that CG was bad before. I'd like to see them use more animatronic creatures so that it's not always... Because we don't always have to rely on CG. I know it's the cheap, easier way to do it, but I'd like to see animatronic stuff. Gosh, I really can't think of anything fantastic to think of other than just... I'd like to see the original cast come back. You know, just have a couple of them in there so that, you know, you have old and new. That's about all I can really think of for Jurassic Park stuff. But thank you, though, to your question, Big Mike TV 100. Next question will come to us from Jason Voorhees, which actually sent me a video question. He just says, is there a way we can send you different kinds of foods or toys to review? Absolutely. I'm eventually going to get a P.O. box open, as I mentioned. So stay tuned for that. And then you guys, if you want to send me stuff, you can certainly do that. Next question is Whedon13's question. He says, hi Spot, I love your videos. My question is, do you play Minecraft or watch people play Minecraft on YouTube? I do watch Ethos Slab, Pause and Pause, Vintage Beef, Ren Dog, and loads more. So thank you if you read this. Oh, and my second question is, what are your thoughts on Iron Man 3 if you saw it? I did actually see Iron Man 3, and I did post a Spot's Thought. If you guys haven't checked out Spot's Thoughts, my second channel. I guess second of the 3 channels. The first question about Minecraft. I haven't played it. I honestly, and I might sound like an old guy saying this, I just don't get Minecraft. I just don't get it. I know you mine stuff, and everything looks pixelized. I just don't get it. Am I the only one? I might be saying that. I don't know, but I just don't get it. I haven't really watched any videos on it because it's just not something I'm into. Sorry. I am sorry. But the next question comes to us from MIC's Customs, Mix Customs with a Z. OTS, I actually have 2 questions. Question 1, why don't you review NECA 18-inch figures, Sideshow, or Hot Toys? Question 2, well, you know what, we'll answer question 1 first. I don't have a lot of 18-inch figures just because of space. Space sometimes is a factor for me. I'd love to get into Sideshow and Hot Toys figures. I actually have one, the 89 Batman movie figure. I just haven't reviewed them yet. I'm absolutely psyched for getting more Hot Toys figures. Definitely looking forward to getting more. So it's a question of just when I do, I'll do reviews of them. I just haven't gotten to them yet. I haven't gotten to getting them yet, I should say. Question 2, there are a lot of figures that have been sold out out a long ago, and they now go for astronomical prices online. Cinema series of Cinema Fears Part 6 Jason, Cinema Fear Jason Goes to Hell, NECA Cult Classic Part 7 Jason, any NECA, Mezco, Michael Myers, etc. As collectors, if we don't currently have some of those pricey figures, which ones do you think are actually worth that much for? I'm going to say this, and nothing towards Mezco, but being that NECA is now releasing Jason figures, and if you ask me, much better looking figures, I would almost say don't even waste your money on Mezco older stuff. Just wait for NECA to release it. And I don't say that because I'm getting money from NECA or I'm getting anything like that. I'm just saying, as a collector, you know what? Instead of paying $80 for, and I've seen them $80 for Part 4 Jason from Mezco, why not pay the $18 and get the NECA's version of him? It's a lot nicer. Better detail. Oh, my phone's beeping. Better detail, more articulation. I don't know. Personally, I would just say stick with NECA for the Jason stuff. Michael Myers, I know NECA hasn't really done anything more than just the Night He Came Home and the Evolution of Evil, and then the Cult Classics Bob's sheet, Michael. So I would say, of course, those ones, if you want to get a Michael, those would be ones you'd want to get. You know what? I'm going to say this. If you guys ever, always check, and people have asked, always check, when it comes to buying toys, always check your local, you can check online, for example, so if you're like in Minnesota, go into Google and type in like this, type in like Minnesota toy shows, and you'll see shows probably available in your local town or city, and go to those. You'd be surprised the kind of deals that you get. Instead of paying like $80 for a figure online with eBay and then shipping and everything else, just go to a toy show. You don't have to pay tax, because a lot of people just pay, they'll just say, hey, $30 for the figure, $30 across the board. You could also haggle the cost down with them as well. I mean, there's a lot of figures. Flea markets are a good example as well. I've gone to flea markets and found the Jason, Robert Bateman. I always get those confused. Robert Bateman from American Psycho. Patrick Bateman. There we go. Patrick Bateman. I found the American Psycho. Let's just say that I found the American Psycho at a flea market. I paid $15 for him. I paid very little in the way of tax. I didn't have to worry about shipping. A lot of the Hellraiser figures I found at flea markets, sealed for a good price. I mean, you can't see him, but I have the Resident Evil Nemesis on display. That figure is $120 now on eBay. I bought him for, what did I pay, like $20 for the figure? That's pretty good. That is pretty good indeed. So I would say check out flea markets, check out toy conventions. They're the best places to find toys. Don't go on eBay for everything, because that's when you're going to be paying a lot for stuff. So hopefully that's answered your question. Thank you to MIC's Customs, or Mike's Customs with a Z. I'm going to actually wrap this up here, guys. Certainly stay tuned, though. There are more text questions where I answer your questions coming up. Stay tuned.